Hi, guys. Divine partnerships. Today, I remembered who I am. I am the queen. In chess, the king moves one step at a time. Every move is deliberate because every step has the ability to shift the entire game. The queen sees the board from every angle. She has the ability to move in every direction, to sense what's coming, and see the ripple effect of every move before it plays out. I have that same vision. I can see when a choice might weaken our foundation or steer us off course, and I have the power to bring that to light. When I choose to share that vision with my partner, instead of reacting to their actions, he is then able to make the next move with strength and clarity. This isn't about the queen being stronger than the king or the king controlling the queen. It's about harmony. The king's steady presence allows the queen to move and seek truth with freedom, clarity, and purpose. The queen's vision and intuition gives the king his strength and power to protect his kingdom from outside threats, while he uses his energy to provide for and grow his kingdom. I will honor my partner and my role. I will not act out of alignment. I will feel my emotions, but I will not let them steer me until I am centered again. I will let my partner lead me, but will stand in my own power simultaneously so that I am an anchor for my family rather than an agent of volatility. When we both move from integrity, trust, and intention, we don't just win the game, we build a kingdom. All right. So, this message came to me yesterday, or this idea of kind of like thinking about how obviously like people always say there is a lot of symbolism within the game of chess, and I started to realize like how the fact that the king moves one step at a time, like why would that be? Why would the most powerful piece in the board, or the most like, you know what I mean, like the thing that can make or break the game, why would it only be able to move one step at a time, and why is the queen able to move anywhere, right? And it started to make me think about the fact that like men, or the divine masculine energy, often leads, acts as the leader in relationships and families. And there's no problem with that. Like, I don't think that that's coming from a place of misogyny or anything like that. I mean, obviously we can have like someone, like a woman lead the family. Like, there's really, this is never about like, I want you to know, like, whenever I talk about these things, it's not like me saying there needs to be a man and a woman together. Like, everybody can live their own lives. But when I think about a divine partnership, I do think about like a masculine energy, like the divine masculine. So like the planter of seeds, the protector, the leader, like that's what I'm speaking on, right? So it's not a bad thing to have somebody in your family that is the leader. Like in any organization or anything like that, like you must have a leader. But you also must have people that are in their own power enough and that trust themselves enough to be able to kind of like check the leader when things are being steered off course, or help course correct, or kind of see the bigger picture, right? And I feel like that's very similar when it comes to like the queen. The king can move one step at a time, and every single move has to be deliberate. But obviously not every move is going to be perfect. So the queen is able to kind of like move all over the board and a lot faster, in order to really see the ripple effect of every move before it plays out, and to course correct when the king's move is creating either volatility or vulnerability within the kingdom, right? And it made me start to think about like a concept that my partner would talk to me about my my partner in our previous relationship would talk to me about pretty frequently in regards to, he believed that in some of our like arguments or some of the actions that I would take in response to him, I would act without accountability. And I never really understood that, because whenever like things would happen in our relationship, like if he did something or if he was acting a certain way towards me, I would respond. Like I would make actions in response. And if he didn't like an action that I took, my response would kind of be like, well, if you didn't do what you did, I wouldn't have done what I did, because, or like, if you hadn't been in this energy, then I wouldn't have been in this energy to do this, because you kind of lead the relationship, which is true, right? Because it's not fully accurate, but I'm saying it is true that a man in many relationships will be the leader, right? And just like in dancing, the man, takes those steps. But what we do need to remember is that the woman is just as powerful, and that I started to realize I was giving my power away by doing that, right? Like that's something I finally realized like last night. Like this is not something like I've ever fully understood, but last night I was just writing about this, and I realized or it was actually yesterday morning, but I realized that like, why am I acting in response to anything at all? Like, why am I reacting instead of responding intentionally, right? Like, why am I letting somebody else's actions or behavior or energy transfer into my own actions, even if they maybe don't align with who I am as a person? That is lacking accountability, right? That is lacking accountability, because I'm sitting here like, well, you did this, so that's why I did this. Instead of realizing that, like, there is a step in between there where a decision was made to go do something that doesn't necessarily align with me, or act in a certain way that doesn't necessarily align with how I would act normally if it hadn't been for what that person was doing. It obviously is a balance, right? Because it is true at the same time that if somebody does something or isn't acting in a certain way, like it's going to change and alter the way that you feel and behave. But it's just like, again, really reclaiming your own power and being able to say like, okay, I don't care what it is that you do. I'm going to observe what it is that you do, and not even necessarily act accordingly, but respond accordingly. Respond with intention. Respond with presence, right? Instead of just like, you do this, I do this. And that's really when I came to this message, thinking about the king and queen, and just reflecting on the type of relationship that I want to have, whether that be with my last partner or just in general, like what type of relationship I desire to have. And for me, I desire to step into my own power and realize that the queen and women in like that divine feminine presence is very powerful and special, because the divine feminine, like we are able to, we really are in touch with our intuition in a different type of way, and we can really put our finger on the pulse of really anything that's around us. And if we feel safe and secure where we are in our relationship, we're able to share our honest and true feelings about things that are going on around us, which allows our divine masculine or king to protect and guide in a much better way. Like we really act as a GPS, or even like I said, like, I mean, like we are the intuition of most relationships, right? And the man needs to learn to first create a space that's safe enough for that woman to be in that soft energy, in that divine feminine, be able to really tap into their own intuition, a place where they don't feel scared that their heart will be broken or that their partner will leave them for someone else, but a space where their partner knows, like the woman knows, that their divine masculine counterpart is working towards a shared goal, a shared vision, right? And then they are able to share their own visions and warning signs, or just intuition about the relationship, which then makes the man or the divine masculine more powerful against outside threats, right? And so for me, I just realized, like, from here on out, I'm not going to just respond to things. I'm not going to sit here and like, if I feel like my partner did something that bothers me, I'm going to go out and do something to, like, feel like I'm even, or, like, if their energy shifts, I'm going to shift my energy. Like, no, what I'm going to do is be the most authentic and real version of myself, and realize that I have the power over my emotions. And if I observe that he's doing something that I feel like is not aligning with our shared future, with our kingdom, I need to protect my own kingdom too, right? I need to step up and say, hey, the actions and choices that you're making, I have the foresight to see that this is what it's going to result in. I can watch it, how it's going to unravel us in the future if you don't adjust course. If you don't course correct right now, I will respond through my, choices and actions. But I want to tell you, like, where I see this going. And I need to be able to say that without being worried about the fact that I might hurt people's feelings or whatever. Like, I just need to, I want to protect my own family and my own kingdom in that way, and give my partner the ability to then take in what it is that I have to say, reflect on it, and then course correct and make a move, the next move, that's even stronger, right? That will allow me to act as an anchor for our family, rather than an agent of volatility. So, because, like, something else I was thinking about is, like, if I perceived that my partner did something bad, but then and then I go and take an action in response to theirs, and then I find out later on that it wasn't exactly like what I thought it was, like when I talked to my partner, then who's in the wrong? It would be me. It would be me for acting without even being able, like, I would, like, make decisions before even discussing things with him, like decisions for myself. And I just realized, like, that's just not what I want to do anymore. I want to no longer, like, make decisions out of places of, like, stress or anger or sadness, and instead, like, take those emotions and view them and then use them to make decisions, rather than allowing them and that state to make decisions for me, and letting them steer me. So I've decided, like, when it comes to all decisions later in life, like, not later in life, but, like, from here on out for me, I'm going to commit to making my decisions out of a centered place. Because when we're extremely happy, like when we're elated or we're deeply in love, like we just see things with either rose-colored glasses, or sometimes we can see things with these, like, darker lenses. And I want to wait until the moment that I can feel that I have no glasses on at all and I'm seeing the world for what it is, instead of making decisions out of either an extremely sad, mad place or an extremely happy place. Because that's where you have the most clarity, and you're able to pay attention to what it is that really will be the best next move for you, as a whole, like, to go towards that highest and greatest version of yourself that you desire and your goals, right? So I just really wanted to share this with you guys. I do feel like it is very helpful in relationship dynamics. Both sides have responsibility. Like, the man really needs to create a safe space for the woman to be able to share themselves and be vulnerable. And they can do that also by being vulnerable themselves. But it really is a cycle where each person has, their place and purpose, and each person has power, and each person needs to respect one another and realize that in order to have a kingdom, they must respect one another's roles and honor their own roles. Honor their own roles as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this message. It's a little different today, but yeah, I always like just giving you guys whatever it is that I'm thinking about that day. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.